Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So what we'll be needing for our hexagon t-shirt is our wool, is very important, then our darning needle, crochet hook. We are using 3mm hook, then scissors, stitch marker, and our tape. So the next thing we'll be doing is to make our slip knot. You can see our slip knot is ready. Then you chain 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Into the first chain you make a slip stitch, then you chain 1. After your slip stitch, you can see that our magic ring is ready. So you make your first cluster. We are going to be making first cluster inside this magic ring because we are making hexagon shirts. This one. After making your first double crochet, you go in with your stitch marker. Next one is our double crochet, our second double crochet. Third double crochet. Then you chain 1. Now this is our first cluster. Then you go with your second cluster, which is 3 double crochet. 1, 2, 3. Then you chain 1. This is our second cluster. So after your 5th cluster, you chain 1 and go with slip stitch into the place you insert your stitch marker. After that, then you make your chain, the chain of the length you want, starting from the armpit. So go do that and then we'll meet at the end. As you can see, I've gotten the length I want. I chained 87. So this length is starting from the armpit going down. This is the length I want, 87. After the last chain, you have to go hold that place tight and go on with another 3 chain. So after that, you yarn over into the last chain, which is 87th I chained earlier. Before chaining the 3, you go in with your double crochet. These 3 chains that I chained here will serve as 1 double crochet. Then you go in with the second double crochet into the same chain space. Now we have a cluster. Now this one is 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet, 3 double crochet. That is a cluster. Then you yarn over, skip 2 chain, 1, 2 into the 3rd chain, go in with your cluster. 1, 2 and 3. So the next one, skip 2 chain into the 3rd chain, yarn over and put in a cluster. That's what you do till this edge. Then we'll meet at the end. As you can see, we have 2 chain left. Then into this space, you go in with a cluster, yarn over. That's where we'll begin from. So go in with a cluster. 1, 2. Sorry for that. 3. Yarn over into this place. This is where we are going to be making our corner now. Make a cluster first. 1, 2, 3. Then chain 1 into the same space. Make another cluster. That is where we are creating our corner. 1, 2 and 3. Then our corner is ready. Then yarn over into the next space. We are going to be creating another corner there. So go in with a cluster first. 1, 2, 3. That is a cluster. Chain 1 into the same space, go with another cluster. Sorry for that. 1, 2, 3. That is another corner. Then into the next space, you do the same thing. 1, 2, and 3. Chain 1, because that we are making corner over here, into the same space, going with another cluster. 1, 2, and 3. Yarn over into the next space, going with a cluster first. 1, 3. Chain 1, because we are making a corner over there, into the same space, go with another cluster. 1, 2, and 3. Then yarn over into this space. We are supposed to create a corner. We have put the first cluster here, so now insert the second cluster. 1, 2, and 3. Yarn over into this cluster, the opposite direction, the opposite sorry, the opposite side. That is where you go in with a cluster. 1, 2, and 3. The next one, 2. The next cluster, the opposite direction. Can you see? Going with another cluster. 1, 2, 3. Then into the next one, the opposite direction too. That is what you do to this edge. Once you get here, we'll meet. We'll make our cluster here. 1, 2, and 3. Can you see? Then we chain 3. 1, 2, 3. We turn our work into this space. We go in with a cluster. 1, 2, and 3. Can you see? Then the next space you go with a cluster, yarn over. 1, 2, and 3. Into this space, you go with another cluster to yarn over. That's all you will do. Once you get this to this edge, we'll meet. So yarn over. As you can see, this is how it is. Into this space, we're going to put a cluster. 1, 2, and 3. Into this corner space, that is where we'll be making our increase. So yarn over, go into this corner. You are going to make your first cluster. 1, 2, and 3, then chain 1 into the same space, put in another cluster. That is where we'll be making our increase. 2 and 3, yarn over into this place, put in a cluster. 1, 2 and 3 into the corner space. We're going to put in a cluster first, because that's where we are making our corner. 2, 3, then you chain 1 into the same space, which is our corner, going with another cluster. 1, 2 and 3. Here you put in a cluster. This is our corner. You make another corner there. Here a cluster. Here another corner. Here you can see that is the corner. Here is a cluster. So when we get here, we'll meet. So after making your corner here, this place you make a cluster. 1, 2 and 3. Yarn over into this space. You can see it here. We have a cluster here. So into this space, you go in with a cluster. No more corner. 1, 2 and 3. Sorry. Then you continue into each space. You go in with a cluster. You can see here a cluster, here a cluster. You repeat it till the end, and then you come back. When you get to the end, you can see it's a cluster that ends it here. Then yarn over and put in a double crochet into this last chain, last double crochet here. As you can see, you put in a double crochet, then chain 1, turn your work. Here you put in a cluster. Here you put in a cluster. You repeat this, then we meet when we get to this place. So once you get to this edge, you make a cluster here. This is our corner where the increase will be taking place. You make a cluster, chain 1 and another cluster. Here you put in a cluster here, which is 3 double crochet. Here a cluster. Here you first put in a cluster, which is 3 double crochet, chain 1 and put in another cluster. That is where the increase will be taking places. In these our edges, you can put in a stitch marker there, so as to identify where you'll be making your increase. So you repeat this till you get to your desired width. As you can see, we've gotten our desired length for the hand. So what we'll be doing now, we don't need to be adding anything to the length. So the thing you do here now is that once you get to this edge, this corner over here, as you can see, you don't need to be going round like this again. You just end it here. You make your first cluster over here. You know it's supposed to be corner. Just make your first cluster over here, and then you turn your work. Take it back to this edge, and then once you get to this edge, you turn your work again to this corner. Then that's what you do till you get your desired length. We are no more adding anything to this edge, because you already get our desired length for the hand. Do you understand? So yeah, meet me at the end once you get your desired width for the first panel. So as you can see, this side is longer than this side. That's because we stopped going around. As I said earlier, we already get the hand length. So what we will do also is we'll come back to this side and make exact same rows that we did here to this side also. Then we'll meet at the end when this panel is ready. So as you can see now, what we are going to do now is to join from this edge, which is our hand. As you can see, from this edge to this edge, we'll use our granny stitch to join them together. So let's join together. So what we'll do now is to make a slip knot. Into this edge, you bring it out, chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Then into the second edges, you know we are joining it together. Can you see? Going with the loop, chain 1. After chaining 1, into this stitch, yarn over, put in the cluster. 1, 2, and 3. Can you see? Then into this second side, this space, going with the loop, chain 1, and then you go with to the next space here again and make a cluster. 1, 2, and 3. Can you see? This is a cluster. Then into this side, the next space, going with the loop, chain 1, then yarn over into the next space over this side, going with the clusters. 1, 2, 3. Then to the other side again, the space, you go in with the loop, chain 1, then the next space is in this side, you go in with the cluster. That's all you do. Can you see that I've joined it together this side? Look at the outer part. So this is all you do till you join it to this edge, then we'll meet. Guys, when I was attaching the back part, I forgot to make a tutorial of it. I was hoping to make it and I'm making the second one. The second one too, I forgot. It's just that you start from the edges where you joined your hand together, and then you make the amount of rows you want. Me, I make 4 rows. As you can see here, I also did 4 rows. So now we are going to be joining the 2 panels together. That's what we'll be doing now. So first thing we'll be needing is to make our slip knot. Then the first panel, this is the edges. You bring your loop, then you chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. Then bring your second panel into the edges here, bring in the loop, then chain 1. On the other side, as you can see, yarn over, create a 3 double crochet, which is a cluster. 1, 2, and 3. Then bring your hook out into the next stitch on the second panel side, on the other second panel. That is into the next space. Bring in the loop, chain 1, then yarn over, go into the second panel, the next space, create a cluster. 1, 2, and 3. Then into the second panel, the next space, can you see? Bring in the loop, chain 1, and go to the second side, then make a cluster 2. 1, 2, and 3. Sorry guys. 3. Then into the second panel, the next space, go in and bring out the loop, chain 1. Can you see? Can you see this side? This is what you keep on doing till you join the 2 panels together. Thank you. As you can see now, we've joined the 2 panels together. Now that we've joined the 2 panels together, now what we are going to do now is to make the front panel. So we are going to count 3 cluster, which is 1, 2, 3. into this space. That's where we will now go in with our slip knot. So let's make the slip knot now. We have made the slip knot. Then into the third space, 1, 2, 3. Into this third space, you go in with the slip knot. Chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. Then yarn over into the next stitch. Go in with a cluster. 1, 2, 3. Into the next space again. Go in with a cluster. 1, 2, and 3. Can you see? So this is what we do till we reach this edge, and then we'll come back again to this side. So now guys, let's make our last cluster. 1, 2, and 3. Yarn over. So as you can see, this is where we started from. Into this space, you go in with a double crochet. 1, then chain 3, 1, 2, 3, because they are turning. You are not putting in a cluster, it's just a double crochet. Then turn your work. Once you turn your work, yarn over, as you can see, into this space you go in with a cluster. 1, sorry for that, 2, and 3. Then into the next space you go in with a cluster. 1, 2, and 3. So this is what you keep repeating to this end of the top of the t-shirt. Then you come back and let's meet once we get to this part again. Thank you. So let's make our first cluster now. 1, 2, and 3. So into this space, as you can see, you go in with a double crochet. 1, 2, that's your double crochet, sorry. You go with your double crochet. After going with your double crochet, then you chain 1. Chain 1. Now we want to start with our polo. After chaining 1, into this space you go in with double a cluster, because we are now making our polo. 1, 2, and 3. Into the next space too, go in with a cluster. 1, 2, and 3. The next space, which is here, as you can see, go with a cluster too. 1, 2. Oh, sorry, I think I made a mistake over there. 1, 2, and 3. Into the next space to go with a cluster. 1, 2, and 3. So as you can see, look how it is looking. This is what you do. Round. Once you finish it round, you repeat it again till you get to the length of the collar you want, and then we'll meet at the end once we are done with our collar. So this is what it looks like after everything. After joining the 2 panel and the collar, this is what it looks like. So thank you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, and comment. May God bless you. I'll see you soon. Thanks.